What's up, guys? My name is Jesus Rodriguez from Watch the Matter with Me,
I'm Asante Aleshi.
and welcome to
Two
Two Guys,
guys,
One
one
Garage.
garage.
You gotta do that again, bro. There we go. What's
All
up,
right.
brother?
So how you been? How you been? What you been up to, Chewy? What you been up to?
Man, I've been up to some holiday parties that have been beating my butt, man. I'm a little tired. I wish I was sleeping in right now, to be honest. But I've been good, thank God. What about you?
See, last week I missed the Vegas Drift event, so I ended up going to autocross, and I made a great video drop. I
Yeah,
went all out. Definitely went all out.
I saw that video. And that video was so crispy. It was so good. The different camera angles was really cool. If you guys haven't checked it out, go to the Asante Hiroshi channel, and that was a great video.
Yeah, I was taking my Evo 6 for the first time during autocross. Like the steering wheel was pulling to the right. Alignment was completely off. I don't have the stickiest tires, but we still showed up and had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I mean the sound on that video was crazy, bro. It was really good. I enjoyed it. If you're into car content, check that out. I just dropped the state of the collection video for 2025 for my watches.
Oh, so you
And
dropped that? I remember you talked about it. You
yeah,
finally
yeah,
dropped
yeah.
it.
I told you that it was like I had to get it done. Excuse me. So I did, and it's picking up some traction, which I'm really happy about. You know.
Yeah, the number one thing I think with Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that is if you can follow like the trends. Like
Mm-hmm.
usually around the end of the year, a lot of people do like a whole entire year recap. So I think that's a yearly trend that seems to be kind of evident.
Yeah.
So I think that's number one thing that people should try to focus on is stay on top of the trends. Like, so if you see something that pops up like on your social media, it's like sometimes I see car content where I think the latest thing people are doing with cars is like, I had this in my life and now no longer I don't have it in my life and I replaced it with this. Have you had that pop up?
No, no. But to be honest, I haven't been really consuming that much car content. I've been the kind of car content I've been consuming has been yours.
So
Cause,
mostly just watch content then.
yes. Not even that. I mean, editing content, for our viewers, for our camera, self improvement
Self improvement.
content.
Yeah.
And I have a banger. I have this video I want to show to you. It's 2 hours long, but it's a business, like strategy content. So more like self help content, I guess, and health. I've been watching a lot of health ever since like we kind of I guess you could say we kind of like saw or figured out a Diary of a CEO together.
Yeah,
So
dude's a
like we kind of just
beast,
started
bro.
talking about it together, and the health content that he is pushing out, like with the doctors and the specialists that he has on there, is it's life changing. Like information that people spend millions of dollars to go to the school and university and learn, and these guys are just talking about it and trying to help people out, and it's really cool. That's kind of it, though. It's usually it.
Yeah, so definitely if you can hop on the trends and then yeah, I think that's the coolest thing with podcasts nowadays. Like back in the day, it's like okay, go to school and you might be able to learn something, I guess.
Yeah,
But in today's time, you can just hop on a podcast and whatever category you feel like you're lacking in, you can just go and pick up a
100%.
lot
I
of
mean, TED
information.
Talks, you could pretty much look up a TED Talk for anything, right? You can look up a TED Talk for anything, and that's pretty cool too.
All right, so we have our first question of the day, Chewy.
Okay,
First question of the day:
hit me with it.
name one book, because we're actually gonna go through a collection of books today. Name one book and then one idea you learned from the book.
Ooh, do you have yours so you can?
Okay, I'll start it off, and we can both comment. If we both read the same book, we can both comment. One idea.
Okay.
So one of my favorite books of all time is How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's one of those I think great foundational books. I think everybody in the world should read. And the name sounds maybe possibly kind of manipulating, but ultimately when you actually read the book, you realize it's in the way it's kind of completely the opposite. It's like kind of getting to know people a little bit better and then really being able to connect with people in a way that you never seen possible before. So, one important subject in that book, it was never forget someone's name.
Mm,
Never forget someone's name. And in that, it's kind of like when you think about it, we own nothing in this life.
correct.
You know, you don't own your house. Like if you just stop paying, you could pay off your complete house. You stop paying your taxes, like they'll come scoop that thing up.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
in a way, you never own anything in this life, but you only own like two things, and that's your name and your mind.
I would add something in your word.
In your word.
You know, if I give you my word, it should mean something. And if I go against it, then it means nothing. You know what I mean? But you own it.
Yeah. So the number one thing is like when you meet somebody, try to learn their name as fast as possible and try to remember it. Because if you say it's someone I just met, because like the other day, like one of the real estate agents, they stopped by my house. We had a whole entire conversation and everything. He's like, "Oh, you're looking to buy a home, et cetera, et cetera," and he took down my contact information. Well, like a week later, he's still doing door to door sales, and I see him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, Asante," and I was like, "Bro, he remembers my name." And I was like, "Bro,
That's really
that's
cool. Yeah.
crazy." It's like that means our conversation, even though it's only for maybe like 5 minutes, like it made an impact on his life
No,
to a
I
certain
agree.
degree.
When I was doing retail part sales, and I remember it, and when I would remember my customer names, you would automatically like see almost like a mood shift. You know, like they're walking up to you, and you're like, hey Juan, and they're just like, oh, like they kind of like it, kind of like he remembers me, and
Yeah,
he would come to buy from me. You know what I mean? He would come talk to me, buy from me, and hopefully feel a little more comfortable because you remember their name. You took the time to remember their name.
yeah, and I think the number one thing with sales is building rapport. People want to buy from people they know, essentially. So when you first meet somebody, you're trying to literally break down that barrier of you're not somebody I know, you're a complete stranger to you're a friend.
I mean, there's a great saying that I love. It's you're not buying the product, you're buying the buyer. You know what I'm saying? So especially like me being in the watch community and involved with watches, there's some old watches that are worth a lot of money, and you could buy them from Joe Schmo and get maybe a discount, but you don't know what you're buying.
Right.
But you can go to a reputable watch dealer. Like there's a guy in Miami named Adam who sells vintage watches. You're buying the buyer. He has a reputation. He has the name that you know what you're gonna get is gonna be legit. And same that works with even me working at Toyota. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? You're buying the buyer.
And then, it's actually the same thing with everything in life to a certain degree. Even this podcast, like you come on here and yeah, we may give you some information here and there, but ultimately you're connecting with me and you as a person.
For
You
sure.
come here for us, essentially.
Yeah, that was a good book though. You put me on that book. I remember there's a chapter on fatherhood. That was really good as well. But that was a good book. That was a really good book. For me, do you remember? Do you remember? Have you read the book As a Man Thinketh?
I still haven't read it yet.
Oh
Still haven't
man,
read it yet.
yeah, that'd be if you are just getting into reading, or maybe you didn't read a lot in the past, or maybe you just want an audiobook. As a Man Thinketh is a great book. I think it's a great place to start. Buy the I would recommend you buy the modern version of it because they have the original scripture of it, which I believe was like 1800s.
So it was written in the
I
1800s,
think it was in
somewhere
the
around that time.
1800s. I could be wrong, but it was like written by an Englishman in the 1800s, I believe. And there's a translated version of it, so it's just an easier read, you know. And pretty much the whole book is about how your thoughts impact your whole world, your whole life. Like in the book, you read the book, and it's one of those books it's not that long, so you could essentially read that once a year. It won't really take much of your time, and it will just give you a refresher.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like the best way to put it is like if you have a beautiful mowed grass, and you see a weed, right? If you leave that weed alone, what's going to happen? It's going to spread. So pretty much the book is the same thing, but with negativity. You know what I mean? If you have a negative thought in your mind, and if you don't get it out of you, if you don't try to fix it or talk about it, it's going to spread, and the negativity is going to spread, and it's going to make things worse, and it's going to spiral, and it could turn into depression, or who knows? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that is a great book. Just to kind of reset the way you think about yourself, maybe about your thoughts, and what other things. What did your dad say? That saying you told me the other day. That was really
Your thoughts create your reality.
That's fire right
Your
there.
thoughts
Your
create it.
thoughts create your reality. That is huge, and I think the older I'm getting, the more that I feel like
The more
there's
true it
so more
becomes, right?
truth to that. You know what I mean? Especially when people talk about people like with the vision boards and their what do they call that when you visualize something?
Manifestation? Yeah.
Manifestation. And yeah, I feel like now as I'm getting older, I believe it more than ever.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe it more and more and more. It's like every time like we were talking on the other podcast the other day. It's like every time you're feeling sad, I'm like, dude, I'm choosing to feel sad. So I got like, okay, let me stop and let me start choosing to feel happy. You know, all
I
those kind
mean,
of thoughts. And then I really think about what you're talking about, like with the one bad seed, and it just starts to spread.
absolutely. I mean, just like right now, I mean, I'm exhausted. I've been doing holiday parties for the last 2 days. You're exhausted. We don't. It's not that we don't want to be here, but we're tired. But we always end up doing the podcast, and we feel great afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't want to do something, and and you do it anyways, and you're gonna feel great after that.
I feel like it's like that gym analogy. It's
Yeah,
like you don't want
I
to show
mean,
up at the gym because you know it's going to be a lot, but when you walk out the door, you're on cloud
yeah,
nine.
yeah. You feel good about it. You feel good about it. We got a viewer on the live. Good morning.
Good morning.
And yeah, I mean, shoot us some questions if you guys want us to talk about something. But yeah, I mean, that's as a man thinketh. Um, that was a great book. I have it in my, I literally have it in my bookcase right now.
I want to go back to how to win friends, influence people. I had another thought. So, another very important ideal from that book is to never criticize or condemn. So, essentially, it was how you're going to complain about snow on your neighbor's porch when your own doorstep has snow on it as well. So essentially, what happens when you criticize people, the only thing you do is first you're gonna upset them,
Correct.
and then you're gonna create resentment. So
So they're gonna remember you for the wrong reasons, almost, right?
yeah, so every time you try to critique someone, really take a lot of time to emphasize how you put it because it could essentially break a whole entire relationship with somebody. And I think it's probably one of the reasons why I'm the most one of the most appreciated people in like my friend circle. And it's because one, I read that book and it influenced a lot of my traits, but also it's because I never criticize anybody. So to a certain degree, some people have came up to me and they're just like, I feel like I can tell you anything because I built like that trust,
Right.
you know?
So I'm gonna ask them real quick. Somebody asked us here on the live, what exactly do we talk about? And we talk about everything and anything. We
Yeah,
ask each other questions that we don't know what the questions are. We have like a panel. He asked me a question, I ask a question. We answer both of them. We talk about anything and everything, from relationship to building cars,
to life
to
advice.
life advice. Right now, in particular, we're talking about book recommendations that we have and what did we take away from them. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and drop a question down there, and we'll gladly answer it.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That'd be really sick.
Yeah,
Definitely, please ask us some questions. That'd be 110. Like a lot of times, we are kind of doing this live, even though I do have like a recorded version. Even when I make the post, it's still basically live. Like a lot of the questions we come up with and answers really literally
yeah,
on the spot.
absolutely
Like I
on
don't
the
even know my
spot.
next question I'm gonna ask to. I have no idea what I'm gonna ask
Yeah,
him.
sometimes I have to cut to him because I don't even know the answer to the question. And you can see it on our long form. You can see it in our long form podcast. Like you can edit stuff like that out, but when we're live, you can't edit that. But that was a good question. That's a good question. Okay, so my question would be, hmm. Do you have another one?
Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Actually, you know what? I did. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. I
Oh,
actually did
ooh,
have a
there we
question.
go. We
Let me
got a we
see.
got
Let me
a
find it really quick.
we got a fire question, and I'll think of one meanwhile.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. Sometimes I'll go through my whole week and I'm just like, oh, bro, I got another
Oh,
question.
so we have a question. Somebody
Oh,
asked us, do we have a specific religion?
no, I'm not. I'm more spiritual.
So that's a very good question because in they say that in business and in school, to keep you got to keep religion out of it, right? You want to go first, and then I'll go.
So for me in particular, when I was raised from the ground up, I think I was Christian at first, but eventually I kind of followed my dad's footsteps where I became more spiritual. And for me, I try to pay attention to life and let life experiences give me my sort of beliefs. So a lot of science. I'm very scientifical in that sense.
I mean, yeah, I mean, me and you are both very scientific, but excuse me, I have a little bit of a different take on this because I grew up Roman Catholic. Being Hispanic, that's just kind of how it is. Most households are Roman Catholic or Christian. I did everything. I went through like the Catholic school and did all the works, right? But the older I got, the further I feel like I got away from the church. Once you start learning and seeing videos of like what happened during the Crusades and
Yeah.
like some of the atrocities that the church has done, kind of really made me go away from it to an extent. But I never lost my faith. I personally, I believe in God. I never lost my faith. I never lost my traditions with my family. Like for example, on Friday we celebrated the Virgin Mary, La Virgen de Guadalupe in our culture, and that's faith, So I would say I'm almost like I'm Catholic, but I'm also like non-denomination because I don't go to church. But I don't think you need to go to church to find God,
Yeah.
to feel God. I've had an experience in my life where I felt the presence of the Holy Spirit. Did I ever tell you about that? And ever since that day, I personally I wake up every day. I say a prayer. I say thank you, and I let in my mind and in my head I let Jesus take the wheel. Pretty much, you know what I mean? And I'm just grateful every day. It's more of a spiritual thing, like you said.
Yeah.
It's I don't have to go somewhere to worship. I worship at home. When I wake up, the first thing I do is I give thanks. When I go to sleep, the last thing I do is I give thanks. I would like to go back to church and just I don't know. Like lately, I've been having that craving of going back because I remember how when I was a kid, my dad and my mom took us to church as kids. But I don't know. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Last time I've been to church, oh man, it had to be. Actually, you know what? I did go a couple years ago, but prior to that situation, it was like maybe 10, 15 years, you know?
Yeah,
And one of my other friends was telling me, she was like, the main reason why I like going to church is just because of that whole community
absolutely,
aspect. And to a certain degree, that's something I definitely don't have. You know, I
absolutely. I
got my
mean,
small friend circle, but I do feel like I lack that sense of community.
my excuse me. My parents are from a small town in Mexico, and very very small town. So what united everybody together? Sunday mass. You know what I mean? Everybody from the small town gets together. They go to church, and it's a community.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. It's a community, and it's sometimes some people just want to find somewhere where they could fit in and hopefully take something with them like believing in God or whatever it is. But yeah, I haven't gone to church in a couple of years. Also, I mean, I've gone to funerals, which is very unfortunate. I've gone to recently. I've gone to funeral services at churches, which which sucks. But I mean, that's me going right.
Right.
Let me see this here. They said Earth Day is my birthday. I'm more of a nature person, and I do agree. I feel like as long as a person is a good person, then you're on the right road.
Is that 421?
Yeah,
Earth
that's
Day?
420. I
Yeah.
believe that's 420. I mean, yeah, absolutely. If as long, I mean, that's what it is. That's what it's all about. It's all about like I always talk about positivity.
Yeah.
It's all about being a positive person, being a good person. If you have the chance to give back and try to spread the joy. Don't be negative. I hate negativity. We've talked about this so many times. Just be a good person, and at the end of the day, whatever happens to us, because I believe whatever happens to us after this dimension, this realm, so be it. You know what I mean? But either you
Yeah.
can live a good life or you can live a bad life, and I'm a firm believer that whatever you do on this earth, you're gonna pay before you leave. You're gonna repent, and that's what it is. So why not be a good person?
Yeah.
That's not to say that sometimes good things happen to good people, but that's a different conversation. Oh, they said it was 422. I'm sorry.
422. Okay.
I thought it was 420. That's funny.
Isn't
Mine's
it?
was that?
You're
Mine's the
you're
2 days.
24th, right?
Yeah.
So my birthday, I'm born on 420, and then he's born on 424. So we all kind of have the same birthdays.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's why we're best friends. Taurus, baby. Right? Yeah, that's a good question. That was a very good question.
All right. So I got a question for you.
Okay.
Would you rather lose all your memories or never be able to make new ones?
I would rather lose. Whoa, man. That's
Yeah.
a really good question. Uh, I have children, so I'm a dad. So that's hard because I would lose all my memories with like my family, my parents.
Everything. Everything.
I guess I would lose
Tabula
my
rasa, blank slate.
I guess I would lose my memories and then create new ones. The only thing about that is I feel like your memories and stuff like that makes you who you are. It's part of your morals.
You'd be a completely
So
different
you'd be a
person.
completely different person. But I just don't know if I would want to not meet my kids. You know what I mean? Because I have kids. So as they grow up, will I not remember them?
You'll remember them in a different light.
Yeah, that's tough.
It, yeah. At first, I had an answer. I was gonna say because this was like on another podcast where they asked the guy the question, and ultimately what he said was, he's like, "What's the point of living life if you can't make new memories?" And I was like, "Dang, that's deep." But now you're telling me your answer, where it's like,
Yeah, but if you don't remember your
you're gonna,
memories, then you're not even you.
yeah, you're a completely different
You're a
person.
different person. You know what I mean? So that's hard. That's hard. They say they said the good vibe. I was wondering why I was the only one asking questions. Well, we
You're the only one
appreciate
there,
that.
bro. That's why.
We
You're
appreciate
the
that.
only guy there, and we support you.
But yeah, I mean, definitely, I would definitely would. Well, just because of the if I was in your situation and I didn't have children, I would 100% keep my memories. But if I didn't, if I'm where I'm at right now because I have children and I want to see them and remember them growing up, I definitely have to take that,
You
even if
know,
it's me being a different person.
you know what I think about? It'd be essentially that'd be like living the 51st dates to a certain degree, right? Have you seen that movie?
It's been a while.
It's
I
with
mean,
Adam.
I've seen it, but I
Yeah, it's with
just don't
Adam
remember
Sandler, and
much.
he dates this girl, and she never remembers the next day. So every single day is a completely different new experience where he's trying to get her to re-love him again, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that one, but it's been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, that was so. What would you do though?
I think, dang, dang.
And what's crazy, this is things that actually happen to people. There's people who get in accidents and who have extreme trauma that something happens to them where they don't remember stuff,
I think I'm gonna have to say make new memories.
make new memories.
Like I love who I am as a person. I love everything I've ever went through and who it made me to become. But to a certain degree, your personality is kind of engineered based on your genetics. So to a certain degree, you won't completely be a different person, but all the knowledge and everything I've ever learned, oh man, I'm completely gone, which is
Absolutely.
crazy. And I need all that, bro. I need all that sauce.
Yeah, you need
I
all of
need
that.
all that
Well, yeah, because
sauce.
if you don't have any of that, you're not even you anymore.
But if you are essentially you are going to be the same person, like personality wise. So if you are the kind of person to probably look into those things, you might find yourself finding those things again. But
That's
yeah,
true. Yeah,
but all those people you ever met, everybody that passed
you're
away in
saying
your
it might
life,
come back full circle, right?
yeah, it'll come back full
Right.
circle.
Okay.
But what won't come back full circle is maybe if you're like your grandma or someone like that
Yeah.
passed away.
Yeah. That's
That's
that's what I'm telling you.
gone.
That's why I said if I was in your situation where I didn't have children, I would definitely keep mine. But because I have children, because I have kids, I would I would literally what's it called? I'd have to take seeing my kids grow up, 100%.
I mean, you're still gonna see your kids grow up. It's not like your life's gonna be that different. It's just you're not gonna remember when they were born.
So some people are asking us, what's the story behind you guys? And then they said, I mean, literally behind you
Literally behind.
guys. So
Let's see. We got.
we got a motor here. Well, the head of a motor from a Honda Civic, and what's it called? It's pretty much an extra motor that I have for my so-called race car or project car, right? Elaborate on that. Let me turn this off, the alarm off.
So he has an EG hatch. I remember when he picked it up, it was stupid clean and everything like that. And he was racing. I'm trying to get him back into racing because he hasn't been racing for years, chat. So he needs to get it back together.
I mean, here's my helmet. Here's my helmet. That's an extra head that we have, I guess, for the motor. We have some Dragon Ball Z up there.
Well, I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. I've been watching it since day one.
Yeah, I
Speaking of
mean,
Dragon Ball Z, what's one of your favorite scenes?
ooh. Now we're gonna go into Dragon Ball Z. One of my favorite scenes, Dragon Ball Z.
You want me to go first? I'll go first.
Go ahead.
All right, without a doubt, I love everything from Dragon Ball Z. I've been watching it since day one. It's inspired me. It made me who I am to a certain degree. But the number one scene for me always will be when Goku went Super Saiyan the very first time. I'll never forget. Like the emotions were high. Krillin got killed. Everything was like peaking. You're just like in your chair, and then boom, he goes Super Saiyan. You're just like blown away,
Yeah.
blown away, blown
Only
away.
bad part about it took 3 episodes for him to go Super Saiyan, right?
Hey, that's what made it. Gave it emphasis.
I mean, yeah, I guess not that you mentioned that's probably gonna be that's got to be one of the core memories of myself as well when he went Super Saiyan. But more recent when he went Super Saiyan God,
Super Saiyan God.
yeah, when he
Oh.
went blue, that was awesome. Just because that's like the what I remember recent. You know what I mean? That was pretty epic. They asked us, do we like classic cars?
I can't lie. I'm not super into classic cars, but technically speaking, in today's time, I'm stuck in the '90s. So all the Japanese classics are
We
considered
call that
classic
neo
cars.
vintage in
That's
the watch
neo
world. In the
neo
watch
vintage.
world, anything below like the early 2000s, 90 is considered neo vintage. But me, I personally, I love classic cars. One of my dream cars is a '69 Camaro or a '62 Camaro, a '64 Impala. You know what I mean? I love classic cars. The only thing is, I feel like we grew up in a time where they were unobtainable for us. It was just too expensive. It was when we grew up, you can go buy a Honda Civic for $500. You know what I mean? Or 240 for 1,200 bucks. And that's why we got into like the tuning culture because it was just there. But like if you bought a Camaro or a Mustang, everything was a lot more expensive growing up. So it was kind of one of those things where it's not that we didn't like it. We just kind of we didn't have enough money for it. Most people who had
Yeah.
like Mustangs and Camaros growing up were like passed down from their parents, or the Firebirds like Oscar, right? So yeah, I mean, but I love classic cars. I went to SEMA this year. I saw a ton of cool classic cars there. Oh, they said they have an '84 Monte Carlo. Awesome.
Okay.
I
Okay.
believe that's the G body, right?
I'm not
'84.
sure.
Is that the G body,
I know.
or is that before? I think it is. But yeah, that's awesome. Any other questions?
We gotta come up with some stuff on the spot. Okay. Let me think. Let me think.
I'll come up with one right now. Let me see. Oh, he said it doesn't run. It's just the body. The body's legit. No, that's awesome. Yeah, I have my Civic out here. He has his. If you so little backstory. I don't know if this is your first time here. My name is Jesus Rodriguez. I do watch content. This is my best friend
That's not.
Sante.
Yeah. I do pretty much car content. I picked up a couple of cars, so I got like a 240SX that I been building for 5 years. So I know your pain where something's like sitting in the garage and you're just like, dude, it's never gonna be done. But just keep pushing, keep fighting for it. Every single dollar that you spend is gonna get you a little bit closer, no matter how much you feel like it's never gonna
I mean,
happen.
mine's running, but unfortunately, Nevada state law says it's not running clean enough, and I can't pass smog. The only thing I literally use that car is to go to like Cars and Coffee, or we would use it to go to the track.
Like two
That's
days a year,
literally
2 days
that's
a
all we did,
year.
or we would go do canyon runs, right?
Yeah,
And I can't drive it because it's technically I can't drive it on the street. It's not registered, but it's insured. You know. Said nice to meet us. Pleasure to meet you too. Like and subscribe. This is my personal YouTube channel where I create watch content. His is Asante,
Aloshi.
where he makes car content. And then follow us also on our podcast. We need 50 subscribers to go live on the podcast. That's why we're doing this on my channel. Once we have 50 subscribers, we can go ahead and go live on our actual podcast. The name of that is Two Guys One Garage podcast. And drop us some questions on there. You'll be able to see our past content, and we appreciate it. We appreciate the feedback. It's just how the name implies. Two guys, one garage. We're in my garage. Two guys. We talk about anything. So shout out to you, Victoria. They said my name is Victoria.
Victoria, nice to meet you. Okay. All right. Next question I have is, what's something you think everybody lies about?
What's something that their height?
Their height. Well, every guy, like
You know, was
every guy adds like 3 inches. Like, oh, I'm 5'8". Never mind, I'm actually 6'1".
I mean, I'm 5'11". I don't lie that I'm 6 feet, but every once I'm like, oh yeah, I'm 6 feet. You know what I mean?
With
But
shoes on.
yeah, with shoes on, I'm 6 feet. Yeah, their height for sure. I mean, everybody lies about their height, right? I've met some very short people that tell me they're 5'5", and I'm like, there's no way you're 5'5", bro. What are you talking about? You're 5'5". You know what I mean? But that's just something funny. What about you?
Let's see. What do I think everybody lies about? Oh, how good they're doing.
Oh,
Definitely. I think everybody to a certain degree lies about how good they're doing. Like they
they're
kind of
6'4". Are you lying? Or are you
6'4".
are you being serious? So see, we don't know. Um,
Yeah, I think everybody kind of lies about how good they're actually doing. I think everyone kind of puts on a fake persona and
Absolutely,
overinflates to a certain degree.
especially us, man. You know,
Especially with men, because like to a certain degree, everyone wants to appear tough and like, oh, you know, I'm, I'm doing this good and blah 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 blah. And
yeah,
then same thing with social media, like everything, like when people post pictures, they post like the best angles, best this, best that. Sometimes they might suck on their stomach, et cetera, et
edit the
cetera.
photos,
Try to create this false narrative.
but they don't show you the struggles, right? Yeah, I agree. I mean, even myself, I I appear as a very happy person, and I'm good. But a few episodes ago, you said like you've been suffering from anxiety for since I don't know how long you said, but you said you were suffering from anxiety for a very
I
very
lost
long time.
count, bro. Like 10 years plus, bro. Like a very very long time.
Yeah, 5'2" is the real
I
answer.
do.
But yeah, I mean, I suffered from anxiety, and sometimes I feel it creep up on me. You know what I mean? The other day we were at TJ Maxx with my beautiful wife and kids doing some holiday shopping. There's like a 30-minute line to just get pay.
Just to pay,
My son
bro.
wants to grab everything. My daughter wants to be held, and my wife's shopping, and so on and so forth. And I literally felt like my world is starting to crumble. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been a while since I've had like an episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But I literally I felt like it started to crumble. Luckily, me and my son were able to get out of there and take a walk, pretty much. But I definitely it's one of those things with anxiety. You It goes away, but it doesn't go away.
it's always kind of
You
just
know what I'm
lingering,
saying?
right?
Like we left the store and we went on with our lives, but I still had that knot in my chest. I still had that pressure in my chest. It didn't go away for like a day or two, which is something that, like I said, nobody ever talks about because nobody talks about how good they're doing.
Yeah, and then kind of foreshadowing to the previous podcast that we have, where you get hit with that endorphin or whatever it is, and then it just kind of lingers, and then
Yeah,
your mind just continues to push it.
yeah. I remember
So
you're the one who told me that.
yeah, it's like you gotta realize. So I think the first step is recognition. Now that you understand that, like you said, you realize it was lingering. Okay, first step is recognition, and then now it's like, okay, I need to actively fight it.
For sure.
Actively fight it to try and not feel that way.
I mean, and that's where that book recommendation comes in. Um,
As
as a
men
man
think it.
thinketh, it's like you at that moment in time, you got to get those thoughts out of you. You know what I mean? You got to get it out, think positive, and try to go on, because if you keep lingering, it's just gonna get worse. You know, it's just gonna get worse, and then
Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna take that with me for sure. Like that bad seed, because yeah, once it starts sprouting to a certain degree, it feels like it becomes uncontrollable.
absolutely, yeah,
Uncontrollable.
you got to read the book. It's a short book. I think the audio version of it's probably like an hour, if
Oh,
that,
that's
or
that's
hour and a
super
half. It's
quick.
something like something crazy, like an hour or 3 hours. It's not nothing crazy, and it's just a good book. It's just one of those first books that I recommend to a lot of people. You know, and
That's
just
kind of an interesting thing. The idea of revisiting books.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I do that, like How to Win Friends and Influence People. I revisit that book occasionally. Like I think some books you should try and revisit yearly if possible, because you don't realize it, but you actually forget. You
No,
know,
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there's a ton of books that I have that I'd have to skim through them just to kind of go back and get some of that crucial information, right? But one thing that I would recommend is if you're reading, that I've done in the past, if you're reading and you see some sauce, if you see something that's just like a line, a mic drop, write it down. You know, write it down or highlight your book. It's your own book.
Yeah.
Highlight it on your book or write it down, and you can always flip back through it and read that part again. You know what I mean? That's big.
That's one thing I'm actually getting back into. So whenever I would read a book, I would actually probably never actually read a book. I would always resort to an audio file. But now that I'm thinking about it, with like social media and like all the swiping and scrolling, I'm realizing that's really bad. So I actually would rather pick up the book because it forces me to actually focus and pay attention. And I feel like it increases my attention span. And then also I can go and, highlight it and come back to it. And I think I actually retain it better.
For
I
sure.
love the convenience of an audiobook, but that is one thing I actually am starting to pick up on is I actually want to start reading physical copies again.